What poetry is? Poetry is the most content-packed way to use words. Poetry is about how words are used. If you feel that poetry is a mystery, you're on the right track. Watch this video to peel away some of the mystery.
There's so much old stuff up here.
Wow, look at this. It's a poem that Grandpa wrote to Grandma when they were young.
Really? I didn't know Grandpa could write poetry.
My dearest Lily, when I look into your eyes, what do I see? An ocean of love looking back at me.
Well, he can rhyme. Good job, Grandpa.
Yeah, and an ocean of love. So poetic.
Keep reading.
You are as lovely as a light-hearted lark. On my heart you have made your mark.
Oh, so many words start with L. Go, Grandpa. He's really pouring on the charm.
I think it really shows his emotions. Listen. Your beauty is like a field of flowers. Over my world you have amazing powers. Even more important than a poem or a rhyme is you being with me for all time.
I totally pictured the flowers in my mind when you read that.
And the words really show how Grandpa feels about Grandma.
Yeah, poetry can really help someone express themselves. Way to go, Grandpa.
Poetry. Its language and structure. The form of a poem, the way its lines, stanzas, and other parts join together to make a unified whole is almost as important as the words the poet uses. Learn about the ways poets use structure, form, and language to create and shape meaning in their poems. Explore the video.
Hey there, I'm Nick. My cousin just asked me to read a poem at her wedding. The poem, To My Dear and Loving Husband, by Anne Bradstreet, is on this clipboard. I sure hope I can read it right. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out how I can get across the meaning or theme as I read. First, let's look at the poetic structure. Poetic structure is the organization of lines and the patterns of sound in a poem. That will help me know when to take a breath and when to stress a word or phrase. Let's listen to the first two lines of the poem. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. Can you hear the rhymes? Rhymes connect one line to another. Another way the lines are connected is by meter. Meter is the arrangement of words in poetry based on rhythm, accents, and the number of syllables in a line. I like to think of it as the drumbeat of the line. Let's see if I can get the rhythm right as I read a few more lines. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. Now I know how to deal with the rhythm in this thing. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye woman, if you can. But there's more to a poem than structure, just like there's more to a song than a great beat. The structure of a poem is a container for its meaning. The meaning is the reason for the poem. How can I find the meaning? One way poets convey meaning is through imagery. Imagery is language that creates a mental picture. The imagery in this poem helps me create a mental picture of what the narrator is saying about love. Listen to how she compares her love to a gold mine. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the East doth hold. Wow! Now I know how to read this poem. I'm gonna go all out. I'll begin with getting rhyme and meter down. That will help people hear the words. I'll hit hard on the images so people can picture the couple's love. Speaking of love, they're gonna love me.